Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and I'm proud to announce that 90 hours after the release of the Christmas event 2025 within PokeMMO, the hardest raid to ever be introduced to the game has finally been defeated. It took so long. I can only imagine the tens of millions of Pokeyen, the different strategies that had to be employed, the EV training, the XP candies, the TMs, everything that was sunk into this must have been immaculate. But this list of gamers on your screen right now, Asus or Asus, Move, and then GS Boating all defeated this. It is a Chinese team from what I'm hearing, so apologies for the terrible pronunciations and translations, but these players are absolute gamers. They are conquerors. They are titans. They are the victors of the Meloetta raid within PokeMMO, and it just can't be understated. I feel like things like this in MMOs are a immaculate, moment. It's a historic moment. Previously in PokeMMO, there were raids that were released, permanent raids that were released, and they were really difficult. The Heatran raid was one of the first ones, and it took almost 48 hours, and that was considered crazy. That was considered wild for the Heatran raid to take almost 48 hours to complete. This one, the Christmas event released on December 24th at around 5 p.m. ET. It is now about 11 a.m. on the 28th as I'm recording. It's been about 90 hours, estimating, been about 90 hours since the release of the event. That is ridiculous. We have never seen a raid take this long to solve and this long to crack, and here are some examples and some showings of how they did it. Here's the Meloetta catch when they actually got it. Here is the Meloetta itself, and there is actually some on the, you can see the OT there move. Keep in mind, these Pokemon here are not necessarily, I was told by Xanarchy, who shout out to Xanarchy, this video would not be possible without all the information and all the, keeping up to date on the game that he does. Shout out to Xanarchy. I couldn't have done this without you, man. These Pokemon may not be the final teams, okay? We're hearing that, like, this is just to show the people that did beat it. This is an earlier screenshot. Some of these Pokemon might have been used in the team, but we aren't 1000% sure. It makes some sense. It's crazy to see, like, 2 Escavaliers on here. Escavalier, a really slow Pokemon, not something you would expect to see in PvM. We see 4 Conkeldurs. We have not seen Conkeldurr pop up in PvM yet in Pokemon. A lot of these Pokemon are non-traditional PvM Pokemon. Crawdont, you don't see a whole lot, maybe a little bit here and there. Escavalier, we haven't seen yet, but we expected maybe it would pop up. Slowbro and Conkeldurr, these are not Pokemon that we see in PvM. They're just too slow generally, even though they obviously can do a ton of damage. Slowbro especially. Reuniclus has been meta in the past with certain like tanky raid metas, but that was a long time ago. And then Cough Egregious, we see some really non-traditional things. We see the Alpha Espeon, which also implies that Magic Bounce possibly could be used. But once again, these are not the finalized team. I'm kind of just spitballing here. These are not the finalized teams. These are just some of the Pokemon that potentially maybe were used to defeat the Meloetta. We can see the moveset here. Let me actually just go check there should be Meloetta. Apparently, 2 of them, I believe, are on the GTL for 50 mil and 38 mil respectively. Modest Nature rolled here. Wow. Hyper Voice, Roleplay, Close Combat, and Perish Song being the final move. A very, very difficult, challenging raid for these guys to take on. Once again, when it comes to something like this PokeMMO, these Pokemon have specific mechanics. Look at the IV rolls on this. These Pokemon have specific mechanics. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, whether these Pokemon can have their stats adjusted by something like their own, like kind of the equivalent of elemental orbs. For example, the legendary beasts in PokeMMO, or I believe the Zapdos, the trio of birds, their IVs can be adjusted by the elemental orbs, or the legendary beasts, the Johto ones, you have the rainbow quills. Usually there's an item attached to a Pokemon, a legendary, that can adjust its stats. I don't know if we've seen confirmation on if that exists for the Meloetta. And then same with like nature herbs. Nature herb usually affects the prices of, or usually is able to be used to set up these Pokemon. But for now, we just see these 2 Pokemon on the GTL, and we just see that these 4 players are the victors. Once again, congratulations to these guys. I think with stuff like this, these guys deserve the most love, the most appreciation for finding these strategies, putting their time, effort, and Pokeyen into finding these things, and being the first people in the world to beat a very difficult PvM challenge within the most popular Pokemon MMO on the market. Congratulations, guys. Shout out to you guys. Thanks to Xanarchy again, and just thank you guys for watching, and I'm hopeful to see what other kind of exciting big PvM and raid activities we see in the future of PokeMMO. I'll see you guys later. Like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, all that jazz. Just have a good day, and make sure to try to take on some challenges like this when possible. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.